What's up, coaches? Today we are talking about the wall-facing handstand push-up, and the first question you might be asking yourself is, are my athletes ready to do this? So the very first thing we're going to talk about is getting the athlete in the right position for a strict handstand push-up. So I'm going to ask that Hunter kicks up and demonstrates just a couple strict handstand push-ups. Cool. So Hunter, just give us like 2. Now notice Hunter controls his head to the floor, can perform a full lockout. If an athlete cannot do that, they're probably not ready for the wall-facing handstand push-ups, because again, once you walk yourself up to the wall, if you're not ready to come down and press back out, what do? You have to roll out or ask for help. So step 1, making sure we can perform the full range of motion strict handstand push-up. Step number 2 is you have to be able to get into the position to do this movement, which requires a full range of motion wall walk. Once the athletes have shown you they can do both of those things with at least some decent proficiency, the next thing we want to talk about is body position, because it matters a ton in the wall-facing handstand push-up. Unlike the traditional handstand push-up where you can kick up and get into that big bow-shaped, if you are bow-shaped in the wall-facing handstand push-up, your stomach, thighs, all of that's on the wall, and that's going to add extra friction to every single rep, which makes it significantly harder. When we're doing this movement, we want as little of our body on the actual wall, because that is extra friction we do not want. So what we would do next is take athletes out to the open floor and talk about hollow body. So when I like to teach hollow body, I start at the most basic level. So I'm actually have Hunter ball all the way up. So hug your knees into your chest, Hunter. Stick your chin into your chest. Step 1 is making sure the athlete understands that in hollow body, the only thing that should be on the floor is just his lower back. So you can see his tailbone's off the ground, his shoulders are off the ground. And then from there, I'm just gonna say, Hunter, go ahead and keep that same feel on your lower back, but try to let go of your legs and slowly straighten them all the way out, maintaining that same position. Once that is in check, the next step is making sure we can get the arms up overhead. And if at any point, coaches, the athlete begins to struggle with this, all you say is bring it back in, let's try again. But clearly Hunter is able to keep that hollow body shape as he gets himself to that full extension of arms and legs. Now, once we have asked if it's appropriate and we've screened them, we've demonstrated proper hollow body position, it's now time to talk about execution in the wall-facing handstand push-up. Now it's time to talk about the 3 points performance when executing the wall-facing handstand push-up. They are going to be hand placement, head placement, and keeping tension throughout the entire range of motion. So very first thing, in the open they introduced that 30-inch tape line, but basically we want to get our hands as wide as we can while still being able to perform the full range of motion press. So I'm going to ask Hunter to go ahead and get himself down on the floor, walk himself back to that tape line, and essentially using the widest width that adheres to the standard of movement is what we want to use. And athletes can put the heel of their hand, their palm of their hand, or their fingertips on that. I like to go thumb tips, but a lot of athletes do other things. The wider the hands in the wall-facing handstand push-up, or any handstand push-up for that matter, the shorter the range of motion, because athletes aren't required to press as long. If Hunter were to bring his hands closer, he would struggle with that long press, making this movement harder than it has to be. Once we've got ourselves comfortable with getting ourselves in position for that, because that does take some practice getting comfortable going there, is talking about head placement. Now, unlike the normal handstand push-up where the head is closer to the wall when you come to the floor, in the wall-facing handstand push-up, it's the exact opposite. Hands are closer to the wall than the head are, but you're still looking to create a similar tripod that you would in a normal handstand push-up. So as Hunter does that one more time, we're gonna notice that when he comes down to his head is in front of his hand. So from there, Hunter's in position. I'll say, come on down to your head. Now, it might not be as great a tripod as his normal handstand push-up, but there's clearly a triangle shape between his 2 hands and his head. Come on down, Hunter. Ooh, even better. Last step is tension. One of the things that really kills an athlete with the wall-facing handstand push-up, or any handstand push-up for that matter, is trying to settle on the head, move the hands to a more optimal position, and then trying to press out. You have lost all that elastic potential in your muscle groups, which makes it a lot harder to press out from there. So instead, what I'm going to ask Hunter to do is, on this rep, once you've established the proper position and come down to your head, immediately press back out. Do not hang out on your head. So again, full range of motion, wall walk in, places the hands, gets his head in position, taps, and comes right back up. Good. Give me one more, Hunter, and relax. Come on down. Now, when an athlete is brand new at this, the best way to practice this to try to develop capacity are fast singles, fast doubles, fast triples. What we want to try to avoid when we're teaching someone this movement in the beginning stages of development is that we don't want to grind through reps, because slow reps do not equal progress. So again, once you've determined the athlete's appropriately fit enough for this movement, meaning they can both do a full range of motion wall walk and perform strict handstand push-ups, they have a good grasp of what the fundamentals are hollow body, and then understand the 3 points of performance being hand placement, head placement, and tension, they're going to be a lot more set up for success when it comes to the wall-facing handstand push-up. If you like this video, hit that like button. We'll see you in the next one.